So in Florida, something very bizarre happened, and I want to read how the New York Times deals with this. So, two women dressed up as grannies tried to get vaccinated in Florida. I'm going to read this story and then give you my opinion. Maybe it was the bonnets or the gloves that the two women donned, though the temperatures in Orlando, Florida on Wednesday hovered in the 60s. In a scene right out of a sitcom, the women went to a coronavirus vaccination site dressed up as grannies, said Dr. Raul Pino, the health administrator for Orange County, at a news conference on Thursday. Except they were 34 and 44, not over 65. So despite their get-ups, which included spectacles, they were ineligible to get the shots in Florida. However, the ruse may have worked before. The women presented valid Centers for Disease Control and Prevention cards indicating that they had already received their first vaccine doses. Dr. Pino said, who did not name them, "I don't know how they escaped the first time," he said. Florida has vaccinated about 42% of its more than 4.4 million people age 65 and older, according to the state and healthcare workers, and people with some underlying conditions who are also eligible for the shots. It is unclear when the administration of Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican, will consider that enough of these populations have been vaccinated to open eligibility more widely. The state is one of many where vaccines are in high demand because of a lag in shipments from weather delays. Younger people, teachers, police officers, and other essential workers are all clamoring for doses, but Florida has not said which group it will prioritize next. Agencies administering the shots have had to be very careful about people faking it, Dr. Pino said. It's probably higher than we suspect. But he said, adding that at least one man who was too young for a shot tried to pass himself off as his father, who had the same name. Our job as a health department is to vaccinate as many people as possible as fast as possible, Dr. Pino said, adding that the state's Department of Health was following the governor's priorities, which are based on modified CDC guidelines. On Wednesday, health department staff asked sheriff's deputies to issue trespass warnings to the bonnet-clad women, whose birth dates did not match those that they had used to register for the vaccines. The spokeswoman said to the office, said they were not charged with any wrongdoing, but they did not receive the vaccine. This is the world we live in, folks. This is the world we live in, where people are willing to risk potential criminal charges, even though it seems that they're not given any. They're willing to risk exposure. They're willing to risk public embarrassment just to become vaccinated against the deadly virus. This is all on the backs of the Trump administration. Reminder, the Trump administration said that they had second doses in reserve. And one of the moves that the Biden administration wanted to use was to get the second doses and use them for first doses while more doses are being produced. And the situation that happened was Biden went into office and everyone was like, so yeah, those second doses don't really exist. And so we're kind of fucked. And so we're in a situation where people are risking a lot right now just to become safe, when we could just have a society that vaccinates its population properly. We could have a society that chooses to vaccinate people as soon as possible. Again, there's a lot of these other stories where capitalism says that vaccines are okay to go bad, assuming, let's say, there was a story that I read where, if someone misses their appointment and the vaccine is earmarked for them, that vaccine is not to be used on anyone else, not to be used on a nurse or a doctor. That vaccine is supposed to expire because capitalism says, instead of vaccinating as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, as effectively as possible, we got to do it in a specific order, and we've got to sacrifice doses. We've got to sacrifice the limited supply that we have to make sure that it's done properly. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. And just the idea that they treat this like, oh, look at what these cute, fun women are doing, and not, wow, what the fuck kind of society do we live in? To me, to be honest with you, it's quite disgusting.